AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the region. I'm going to do a little bit of silence here so we know where to start this. Hey, everybody, this is the Calumet Calumet Painting and Restoration podcast. You can get them at calumetpainting.com. If you want your own podcast as your business, do not contact me. Contact Adriana, Adrianna, at WJOB1230.com. We'll record it live on the radio if you want, and then we'll send it out to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can refer your customers to that podcast. Suarez was the first one, and kind of showed Adriana, that we can do it on the business side, not just talent and politics and that kind of stuff. So we thank you for that. I have a feeling.
No problem. Can you hear me over there?
Can you turn his ears up a little bit?
Just my mic. Yeah. I just want to make sure you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a feeling that other businesses are going to want to do what you did. Yeah. Probably your competitors.
Probably. That's fine. The painting industry is what they call an easy entry trade, and so we always, I don't know. I don't want to sound like cocky, I guess, but like we've been in business for so long, 30 years. We have a lot of our own customers. Most of our work comes from previous customers, so we always enjoy, competing with other painting contractors. There's a lot of other good painting contractors out there. We're not the only ones, so we strive real hard to help our customers out with their problems, and then create whatever look they're looking for. I brought along a guest, by the way. I don't know if you noticed
we'll get to the guest here in a second and give a proper introduction.
Yep.
But this is paid for by Calumet Painting and Restoration and sponsors the podcast. Yep. And it kind of morphed in. Now you're going twice a month. Is that true? What happened?
Well, it's just that people kept telling me that I had a face made for radio, and I'm trying to disprove that fact. And so I figured the more I show up, the more you might like my mug on TV.
So I do have to tell you that I got a call from Arizona this morning at 6:10 in the morning.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And a friend, obviously Rick Suarez is a former Hammond fireman, and I'm not sure you can make up a guy like Steve Stanek, but people would think you were lying, but he called in from Arizona, and you're doing your own podcast here, and people listen to it and and I think it it helps your business. But we're always looking for just unique talents, and I don't offer it very much to anybody. But Steve Stanek is a unique talent,
he is
and he has unique lack of discipline at times. So
he doesn't have very many filters, that's for sure. But I would say that he wrote a nice song about you, and he sent me the words. So we're just trying to figure out what kind of music to put it to, and we're eventually going to get it on the radio again. So maybe you can open up your show with that. So
yes, he wrote a really nice. It was really kind of cool, the lyrics and so forth.
Yeah,
and I would love to have it set to music, and of course Stanek will sing and play the.
Oh yeah, oh definitely, yeah.
Definitely. So I'm looking forward to that. But Calumet Painting is where?
We're at 6733 Columbia in Hammond, over there by the bike overpass on Columbia Avenue. We got the nicest looking building on the block, I believe, in my opinion. And we're doing real well. This is kind of the slow time of the year. Most painters, they struggle to keep working, especially if they're house painters, because nobody wants you in their house this time of the year. And so we're always trying to drum up more leads. And we're actually going to be doing our financial planning or our business planning for next year tomorrow. I'm sure you guys do that in the radio station, right? So tomorrow's going to be the day that we'll be planning and projecting. So maybe by the next meeting I'll have some other ideas of our marketing plan and that kind of stuff, because I know you do a marketing segment, don't you, with somebody?
Yeah, I do a podcast called Mastering Local Marketing. We just did our 100th episode, which is kind of cool. And I never really did a strategic plan.
Yeah.
But now my guys are like, I have a meeting with them, and I'm like, well, where do you want to be? Where are we going? They're like, why are you doing this? I go, why can't we just go to work every day? And I'm like, well, I'm trying to, get with the program
Right,
here.
right.
But that is an integral part of any business is to, if you listen to the podcast, the Mastering Local Marketing, you'll get that.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that I didn't realize was that you were the best of the region.
Yeah, four years in a row.
I mean, that's not an easy thing to get.
No, that's my employees. You know, my not my employees in general, but my production teams. We have some really, really talented people that work for us. Now we got a little bit better, a lot better, I should say, on the sales side. And then our office is a lot of fun. If you ever walk in the office, you'll see that we just have a really good time in our office, and people like to come to work. So we've created a nice culture within our company that we're always trying to do the best work that we possibly can do. And that helps get you there. You got to do a lot of other things, but it's a good starting point. And we've been doing it for so long now that we've created a nice customer base. And so we have a lot of referrals that come back our way. So, yes, really happy about the way it's going. But it's what they say, but you got to set a goal to where you want to get to. Otherwise, you might get there and not even know you got there. You know what I mean? That's one of those Yogi Berra things. You know?
Want to know something? That's a region way of. I mean, I also do a motivation podcast with Will Galeros, and he says it in a much more organized, non-region way.
Yeah.
Hey, you have a new salesperson. Please do the introduction.
Yes, we hired two new salespeople. I brought Jean Green along with me. She has been a business owner herself. She came in and interviewed with us, and at that time she decided to try somebody else out, but then I think she realized she made a mistake, that it'd be better working for Ricky over here, and then so she turned around and came back a couple weeks later, and we've put her into the things that she's comfortable doing, which is doing the bathrooms and some commercial remodeling that we're doing. She has a lot of experience, so you want to just fill us in.
Jean, how are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming in. You're from where?
I'm from Crown Point, Indiana.
Is that where you grew up?
No, I grew up in Chicago.
Where in Chicago?
By Midway Airport, South Side.
Are you Catholic?
No.
I was going to say, if you're Catholic, then I would ask what parish.
What parish? Yeah.
They don't say where you're from.
Yeah.
All the Catholics will do that. But you grew up where? 50 what?
Oh, 5644 Kilbourne.
Okay.
Kilbourne.
As a matter of fact, do you
didn't
know
even
how
know that,
odd
yeah.
this is? You grew up right near a guy named that calls this show all the time named Mad Mac, and he's no, he doesn't. He's that's not. You're like, oh, what a great person. I'm not sure you immediately say that about him, but he grew up there too on I think even with Midway, I think, and that you were about even with Midway, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you were just a few blocks away. You liked all that sound all the time?
Oh, yeah, loved it. The planes going overhead were great. Yeah, loved it.
And so then you moved to Crown Point?
No, it was a whole journey, but I ended up in Crown Point. Yeah.
And you have been selling stuff for a while?
Yeah, for like 30 years.
And what have you sold in the past?
Furniture, flooring, cabinets, and lighting and interior design.
And then you finally made it over here to work with Suarez.
It was a journey, but I ended up there at the end. Yeah. Yes, and I love it.
I think she retired. You retired for a little bit, I understand, right?
I retired, and it wasn't what I thought. I needed to be busy and challenged. And actually, I was going to go work for another one-day bath remodeling company, and I was only there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and they spent more time telling me how to talk people out of doing the whole bathroom and only doing the wet area. And I just didn't agree with that because I like to do whatever people need, and not leave them stranded with half a project. So I called Rick back and I said, hey, can we sit down and have a little talk, And he just was so wonderful and open to everything. And I said, can we do the cabinets? Can we do the showers? Can we do a new tub? Can we do the floors? Can we do the painting? Put some new lighting in the ceiling and do everything they need. And he said, no problem. We'll do whatever they need. And I'm like, great. Okay, let's talk. So it's just been so fun. And I've got to work on commercial projects and residential projects. And People are just so happy and they love him because his people are top quality.
So you are selling right now, probably trying to sell a few bathrooms for the spring before
Yes.
it warms up, and then he can paint the houses on the outside. That there's a pretty good, I wouldn't say backlog, but there's demand for people to get their houses painted, especially since there's so many older homes here in Northwest Indiana. But you guys have moved pretty heavily into the bathrooms. So let's talk directly about that. Someone calls up and Suarez says, all right, well, why don't you go out and see this person? What happens then?
I usually sit down and find out what do they like about their present bathroom and what would they like to see changed and what could help them out. A lot of people have bathtubs and now they would rather have a nicer shower. That's really easy for us. That's what we specialize in. But usually, if their bathtub is older, that would mean that their flooring could be updated, their cabinet could be updated. So we usually sit down, talk about it, talk about how a nice handheld shower and a main head could be really helpful. So we just talk about colors, patterns, and have they seen anything they liked before? And then we talk about how that could all be a reality. What's really fun is with the technology now, I can actually create a picture of what their bathroom will look like.
That's major
Right.
Chicago lingo.
Yeah.
It's not a picture. It's yeah, I saw a picture of that guy. Like, what do you mean
Yeah.
a picture of that guy? But anyways, okay, sorry.
I know I do a lot of that. You
But
know?
the board of trade, I could tell where somebody was.
Yeah.
Even what part of the city, when you're sitting there working for 20
Yeah.
years, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, certainly North Shore people don't say picture.
Right.
But if you went anywhere from, say, Irving Park all the way down to Beverly, there's a whole segments there that say picture. But anyways, I lost my concentration. Go ahead. So you can create a picture.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we do. And with the new technology, it's so wonderful because so many people have a hard time envisioning, of what the space can look like. And when they could see it, it makes it possible, okay? And then they're not afraid to move forward and let us go ahead and make that a reality for them. And in reference to our lingo, when you're from Chicago, you just think everyone else has an accent and we don't. So it's fun when you
I
bring that to
understand it.
mind. Yeah.
We're a little bit different.
Yeah.
We're a little bit kind of more almost anchored in the old time language of the floor of a steel mill. And it takes a little while to work that out. But Chicago is definitely picture. Hey, I saw a picture of the new Jules on the corner.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what do you mean? It's
Jules,
Jules.
Jules,
No,
yeah.
Jules.
Jules,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
The grocery store.
What did he do? He went to college, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so you're able to use the new technology to create basically not
visual.
AI, but maybe it is
a
AI
visual. It
generated.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
AI visual of what it's going to look like,
Yeah.
including the lighting, which is always very important.
Exactly.
People forget about lighting,
Right.
and you gotta, certainly the recessed light is the preferable.
I'm
a
going to
lot.
throw something in right in the middle of that lighting thing. It was an eye opener for me. We went to look at some commercial spaces. A high rise actually was in Chicago, and she wanted to refresh her entryway. Was a real kind of a classic dynamic kind of entryway, high ceilings and all that. And Jean just took a picture and then put some different lighting in that picture, and it just changed the whole thing. Just by changing the light and the way the light was hitting the walls, it changed the whole entryway without any paint or anything else. So it's kind of amazed by that. And I think that was I realized then that that's really a good add-on for our business, the lighting side of it, because really the paint colors that we apply to the walls are all affected by how the light hits it. Whether it's sunlight or the light inside the house, whether it's fluorescent lighting or the LED lighting, it all makes a difference. So I was really impressed by that. So I see that being another nice entry way for us to get into a lot of the condominiums. We do some now, but it's always that's always good work in the wintertime, like going inside the condos, because they're commercial, they're common spaces, they're common areas, so you can go in there and do that. during the holidays when people won't let you into their house. So it's a nice.
So, I mean, I'll just talk for the
Yeah.
general population and of your customers.
Yeah.
We don't want you to get too deep into commercial because then you'll probably like some of these guys grow and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're doing brand new, complexes and stuff like that, and we're not really doing houses anymore. I got a roofer friend who's one of the biggest roofers around, but started on houses, and one day said, I can't do houses anymore, and there were a lot of people that weren't real happy about that. There were a lot of other contractors that were happy about that, but they just went commercial and industrial. Certainly, that's not your goal, but you'll take the commercial and industrial.
It's a way of increasing our revenue and increasing our. For me, I look at keeping my guys busy. As I have a responsibility to all my employees to keep them working. I mean, and so the commercial side can be a little bit easier because it's not. It's not like a personal finance that you're talking to somebody. It's a big investment for one person in a single family home, where on a commercial side, it's just part of their budget. It's a little bit different. You approach it a little bit different. So I'm able to keep my guys working. It's profitable work, and so that's kind of my goal at times. I always have that's always in the back of my mind. I guess always making sure that we have enough work for all of our guys to stay busy.
That's Rick Suarez of Calumet Painting and Restoration. Now, also working with him is Gene Green, and you can get him at calumetpainting.com. There's so many things about a bathroom. I mean, let's just continue on the bathrooms because you need to, you guys want to sell a few for the spring, and I get that. But the process is you'll come in, you'll take a look. What do you like? What do you don't like? But a lot of people have heard the term one-day bath. What does that mean, Gene?
Some people will do a one-day bath. Rick told me right off the bat, he does it in 2 days. He likes to set the pan in a mud set so it's sturdier and stronger. So we always like to make sure that sets up right. But we basically take everything out, fix the structure in case it needs a little more framing, and then we can set the pan, put some new green board up, put the drywall up, and pretty much sometimes we could do it in a day, but you do have to, a lot of times we'll come back and finish it up the second day. But in reference, the first place that I went to, it was like, no, just do the shower, and I was like going, well, how could I leave this person with just a shower and leave the floor semi-torn up and the bathroom not the way it could be and the way it could look for not that much more, and just for a couple $1,000s more, they could have a new light. And so many times the problem with older homes is that, they only have a little bit of lighting. And now you add a couple of can lights and maybe like the right white lighting by the mirror and things like that, and it'll just make it look so much better. So we try to make sure that we give you the ideas and then you can pick what you'd like to do, So
you keep coming back to lighting, and this, we could go into all the different aspects of putting in the bathroom, but I'm a huge believer in that. And every once in a while, like you'll go to somebody's house that's an older home, and you're like at a Christmas party or whatever it might be. I typically don't go into too many people's houses anymore, but I go into their house and you go to the bathroom, and then you can tell that it was built in the 70s or the 60s because the lighting is like one light, and it doesn't provide and it might be a whiter. They don't, got a daylight bulb in there. And then it's like, this isn't right. And then you go into a house where they've thought it through, typically a newer home, where they got a couple cans, and then they got those soft bulbs in it, and then it gives you like a really warm feeling. Hey, who would call me during the show?
Stanek probably. Yeah.
So, anyways, but the one of the reasons I say that is that we're putting in new bulbs down here for WJOB, and I have the guys doing it. And I went over to Menards, and there's a guy named Andrew in the electrical section. He knows me knows me now. And I'm like, can't I put in those old fluorescent lights, don't they make like a soft color bulb for it? And he's like, no, man, that doesn't happen. But if you after that feeling, when you get out of the shower and it's beautiful,
Yeah.
say you take a shower at nighttime and you get out at 7:30 and you're like, wow, it's nice and cold. You don't want to be jammed with White Castle lights.
Yeah, right.
You want the
A
feel
soft light.
of warmth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do that is to have my podcast on while you're taking a shower and get out and then feel really good about it.
Yeah,
but lighting
absolutely.
is very important. Can I talk about one other aspect
Of
that my
lighting?
wife brings? No, we're done with lighting.
Yeah.
So you talked about the handheld shower.
Yes.
Okay, that's very popular. I dislike it immensely, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yes. I want a shower coming out of the wall at, I don't know, what is the normal height? 5 something?
I like to do them at
6?
7
7?
foot,
Okay.
for tall guys.
So the only problem with that, my wife brought this up. You know, we go on vacation. We go to a decent hotel usually or a decent Airbnb. And she's like, you know, these are not designed by women. And I go, what are you talking about? She goes, I go in and I take a shower, and they have that head way up on the ceiling,
The rain
going
shower?
straight down
Yeah,
as
that's
a rain
the
shower.
rain
She
shower,
goes, I
yeah.
want to get my body,
Yeah.
but I don't want to get my hair.
Yeah.
So I go, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And then we're both kind of, you know, we're both like in, you know, not really tall people. So that 7-foot shower is okay for me. But for her, it is the same effect. It can get her. So she, you know, we're like, we want the shower right about here,
Yeah,
6
a little
feet,
shorter.
something like that. But that rain shower is very popular right now.
Yes, it is.
I got to guess it's not as popular amongst women. Am I right?
I love it.
Why?
Well, because to encompass yourself with water and have it on your front and your back and just coming down like rain, because it works like gravity, okay? It's so much warmer than just having water come at your front when you have your whole body, you know, like warm. But here's the thing. So when I was selling new construction and designing interiors, I had a lot of tall clients, and they were so tired of the shower head just hitting them
Hitting
in the
their
face,
chest,
right,
yeah.
or the chest. And so that's why we're saying, you know, let's talk to the client, find out what their needs are. Your need is you might want to have, you know, XYZ.
I got little kids that take showers
Exactly.
in there too.
Let's
And,
do a rod where we can adjust that.
You can do a rod where you got the head wherever you want it.
All right, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the rain shower is still very. I mean, I notice it in some of the nicer hotels
Yeah,
now.
most of our hotels have it for some reason.
And you know, we go to like top of the line hotel that's just been remodeled, and they always put in a rain shower.
But you'll have a diverter also. So then if you want to have a rod with a handheld, that main head can be anywhere you want it to be. So when you want to have 1 or 2 people in the shower taking a rain shower and then have the main head, you can put that wherever you want it to be. So if your wife is shorter and she wants to take a shower, not get her hair wet, she could have it at 5 foot. You know, and then that's adjustable. The other thing that's really important about the handheld is when you're washing down your shower. So basically, when you want to wash your shower down, you just go ahead and spray it with whatever you want, take the handheld, and you just rinse it down. Or wash your dog, or whatever you want to use the shower for. So there's so many different things that a client can have needs for, and that's why every single job is designed for that client.
All right, so not to get too specific here, but I just got the text that the next podcast is like 5 minutes late, so we're going to go a little bit longer. So you mentioned that,
Yeah.
like wash your dog,
Yeah.
and the grandkids come over, we give them a bath on the main floor,
Right.
and that's the bathroom that I want you guys to do, and that is. But there's a bathtub there, and we want a square little bathtub, basically for little kids or doing dogs. So if you just put a shower in there, you can't give the kids a bath there now, right? Or is there a way to? All right, tell me what the way to.
Yeah, you can. It's a diverter valve you put in there, and it either comes out of the spigot into the bathtub, or
Yeah, but if
Fine.
you're just putting a shower, a one-day shower,
well, if you're taking the bathtub out, then you can't. You can't do that. But if
so
you do-
there's no like you can put like a kiddie pool
Like
in there, a kiddie pool in there.
not
for
that
the
I
bed.
know of. Not
All right.
that I know of. Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, think
no,
about it.
Yeah.
Think about how many people,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Well, we do it more often than
Yeah.
that. Let's say we give the kids a bath twice a month
Yeah.
in our house.
Yeah.
but we can't do it in the winter because then they go home with wet hair. So it's
Yeah.
all in the summer.
Yeah.
So maybe there's 12 baths a year
Yeah.
that I do in there. So there's nothing that you're aware of that you could. Isn't that a great idea to patent
it is, and
Yeah.
my mind is like working because
Yeah.
that's the thing is whenever you're trying to take care of clients' needs and they're all individual, right? There's always something that comes up. Like Rick and I have been working on commercial jobs, so there's always like a problem and we find the solution. And so I am sure that we could come up with some type of idea to do that.
Yeah, so I mean, these are obviously custom things, but I don't think so. I think you would just do the shower as is, and then now the wife and I are talking about, well, do we want a curtain or do we want a glass door? And part of the problem with putting a glass door is when you got kids and dogs going in there, that can be a little bit of a problematic. And if you just use the curtain, it seems like it might be a little bit, but it seems like there would be enough room to place a plastic kiddie pool in there
Simple.
with a drain in the middle and on it so that it would just drain down to the shower. And then you could use it both as a shower and the 12 baths a year for the kids.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, right?
And there's so many people around here, Rick, that could make that for us, and then we could patent it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you got one day bath and shower.
Did you say you also wash the dog in there? Did you say that? Okay. Well, some people might not have kids, but just a dog, so that would be also something that would work for them, just to clean the dog up in there. But they don't want a bathtub in general.
No, because you get a little. I mean, we're talking about doing it in basically the suite where we want to live, and we don't want to step over the bathtub side.
Well, I would tell you this: one way to find out is get Serenity Bath. That's our bath division. Serenity Baths over there, and we could work something up for you. We're offering $1,200 right now, all the way up until the end of January. Now we extended it. It was supposed to be just till the end of December. So you get $1,200 there, and if you have any painting, we can give you a 15% off on the painting side of it, all the way up to January 31st, and you can do the work anytime, all the way to the end of March. So it gives you an opportunity. And I will say everybody deserves some serenity in their life. Find yours at serenitybath.com.
Jeez, always selling, man.
219-844-7501. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Calumet,
should have been a politician, I know. Yeah.
That was the other option.
Yeah.
Hey, CalumetPainting.com. They do the first business to do a podcast here, so we appreciate your business, and now it's twice a month. And certainly Gene Green is going to be part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, I was supposed to not be here, so you brought he brought you in. So and then I said, "Oh, good, I'll go eat breakfast."
Yeah.
And you're like, "No,
you can
stay
around.
right where you're at."
Yeah.
And so I love doing this because I mean there are people in a weird way that even though they have all their baths done and they've painted their house and stuff, they still like this. I mean, think about all the rehab shows that are house rehab shows that are so big.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Just to see the transformation of taking something that someone's thought about for 10 years and seeing it become a reality. And that's why it's so important to do everything that the client wants, because then they can really enjoy it. I mean, if it's taken them 8 to 10 years to just get that shower done, and if we don't do it, how long will it take them to do the floor and the cabinet and the mirror and the light? Like, just finish it up and have it look beautiful and enjoy it all at one time.
Gene Green, the ultimate salesperson,
you
along with
go.
Rick Suarez.
Right.
Until next time, we'll see you later.